This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Head on over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast and subscribe today. Fans, founders, and insiders like you help us keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we thank you for your support.
This is Catherine Switzer, and you're listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 180 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I am your now no longer coughing co-host, Dana.
You're feeling better?
I am feeling better. And yeah, thank you everybody who reached out. I know this, I think, might have been one of only 2 weeks in the last 4+ years that we haven't put out an episode. We did miss when the hurricane hit.
Irma.
Yeah. But yeah, so for those that don't know, we've had a heck of a lot of traveling in the last couple of weeks.
Wow. Yes.
We
fabulously lucky to do so.
We got to leave Florida for the first time since December of 2019.
And boy, did we.
Yeah, we really couldn't have picked a point further in the United States.
Yeah.
So we ended up in Alaska.
We did.
And we have so much that we're going to be bringing you from Alaska.
Can't wait to share
the
that.
Anchorage Run Fest.
But I think first we have to wrap up our summer series.
We do. So after Alaska, we flew back and we went right into our trip to Orlando.
Yes.
To finish up the Run Disney Summer Virtual Series.
We did.
And after that, last week we were supposed to have the episode out. I started getting a little sick.
Yeah.
And of course, in this day and age, you can't just get sick. You have to, jump through every hoop. So I had to go through all of our protocols at work.
Of course.
To confirm that it was just good old fashioned sick.
Of course.
Not the new sick.
We have to be safe.
So I did lose my voice a little bit and had to, take, antibiotics and all that stuff, but I'm feeling better, so here we are.
I'm glad.
And I'm glad that everybody was so kind to reach out. Thank you. I'm doing great. In fact, I've even been running a little bit and getting out there. So yeah.
So I've been trying to take care of you.
Yes, and I don't envy you that job.
Well, it's easy.
No one's ever called me an easy patient.
You're just handsome, so
Yeah.
It's easy. And I just can't wait to talk about Run Disney with our people.
Yes.
I can't wait to talk about Alaska in the coming weeks.
Yes.
And we have so much coming up as well. We have the Smokies. So shout out to everybody in the Runcation Nation that's headed to the Smokies, and shout out to everybody who has been racing this weekend. As we record, this is Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
And Positively Polly 1, who is JoJo, that's her handle on Instagram, is Positively Polly 1. She did, the Cotton Row 10K, and she sported her Run, Eat, Drink podcast gear. Love that.
That is so cool.
And
it sounds so funny, but it gives us such a lift to see photos of you guys in your Run, Eat, Drink podcast swag. We absolutely love it. And anytime we see those pictures, Amy will screenshot and text me, or she'll tag me or tag the podcast, and I'll see it. It's just super cool.
So JoJo was sporting her red tank top, red the color.
Yeah.
Red the color. And Cheryl Shenanigans was sporting the green one. as she went 19.3 miles.
Ooh,
and
that distance, man.
19.3, that's the combination of the 10K and the half marathon if you do like a Run Disney challenge.
Right.
At an actual live race weekend. So she was just killing it. And let me just tell you that the fuel, Uncrustables, and beer, you're winning, my friend. You are winning. It's great.
You know, each of those things taken separately, it don't sound too bad. I don't know that I would necessarily combine.
Well, I don't know that she did them like in succession but I just, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I love.
Oh, yeah?
And also beer. This run powered by beer.
I'm on board.
So
totally on board.
And then It's Me Fun Size Jen also completed a challenge, a rock and roll, the remix challenge, and posted some pictures about that.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody. I think Dawn was sporting her Run Eat Drink podcast gear as well.
Love it.
And so everybody, I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I tried to catch them all as I was nursing this man back to health, full health.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not the easiest patient in the world. I've been trying our patron Josh, who is Midnight Wolf 308 on Instagram. Mm-hmm. He put together a workout program for me, and understanding, that I was wanting to hit the weights in addition to doing the running, as I am re-tackling the 75 hard challenge. Mm-hmm. And I started doing his workout right as I was starting to get a little under the weather. Yeah. And so I had just enough exposure to that to make me realize that I'm going to be cursing his name for some time to come. But
Bart Yasso says, as we just visited him in Alaska, mm-hmm. or we just came to the same race weekend with Bart says, just never have a workout named after you.
Right. I may name this one after Josh.
So pony up the name, and then we'll curse his name.
I've got to figure it out.
We'll curse the name, or you know what I mean.
So now that I'm back, mostly 100-ish%. This week I'll be starting back into that full tilt, and instead of doing 2-a-day runs, I'll be doing my 2-a-day workouts, but one will be a run, one will be a lift.
Josh has brought balance to the force.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. He may be pushing me straight to the dark side, because the first day of going through his workout, I was smoked.
Well,
I mean, it was no joke.
He's done his job.
And that was modifying it because we were trying to work out at the hotel, and the hotel doesn't quite have all the same gear that you need.
Yeah.
So I'm in trouble, but it's all going to pay off.
You did it.
It's all going to pay off. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah. Any updates that you want to give?
Updates?
Yeah. Your training updates, your running updates, anything you want to let people know about.
I'm still trying to support you in this 75 hard challenge. I'm trying to drink the gallon of water. I'm trying to...
You're a trooper.
Do the 2 workouts. Although I'm not doing 2 runs. I'm doing... Like Josh brought you balance, I'm trying to do yoga or some other type of workout, and the running that our coach, America's coach, Jeff Galloway, has assigned me to get ready to be successful at the Smokies.
Yes.
So that is what I've been focusing on. Cadence drills, acceleration gliders, making the distance that he assigns on the long weekend run. And I'm trying to meet every goal, and we will see what the course and the 5K bring this weekend.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious as to how that's going to shake out there with the course and the weather.
Yeah.
Listening to the Vacation Races folks on their corporate podcast, they talk about it, and they say that it's still pretty warm. So I don't think that we're going to be getting the break in the weather like we got for Alaska. But
so I shouldn't pack jackets.
Probably not. I mean, you might want to have one just in case, but I think that it's going to be a warm weather run that we have to look forward to.
This is an exaggerated sigh.
Only slightly exaggerated.
Okay.
But that's what's coming up. But let's talk a little bit about what's coming up on the show today.
Yay!
We alluded to it. We did say
Yay.
We are finishing up the Run Disney virtual series
Indeed.
that celebrates the Lion King.
Yes, in all its various forms. And the very last one happens to be dedicated to the Reimagined Classic from 2019.
Some people call that the live action. I think that you have to.
That's what you call it.
Well, a lot of people call it that, but you got to remember that's not really live action. It's a whole lot of CGI.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, the Reimagined Classic. Mm-hmm. And we're done with that series at this point.
And maybe someday we'll see the medals.
Eventually. They've been very good about that in the past.
Oh, yes. We just have to wait for them.
We just have to wait for them to eventually show up.
Yes.
But, like we have historically done, we do our best to do the Run Disney virtual series at Disney, and this was no exception. We decided to take our runs on the road, and we went up and did it at Disney, and while we were there, we also had some amazing food and beverage.
We did. Yes.
We featured a place you've been looking forward to for a long time.
I've been trying to get there, been
Just
trying to get in. And success this weekend, we were able to have breakfast at Kona Cafe at the Polynesian Resort.
Very nice.
And so excited.
We do have a lot to talk about there with some fan favorites.
It did live up to the hype.
Oh, well, the food segment's going to be interesting because we have a fan favorite that was very well hyped and something that's much less well known for those that might be wanting to eat plant-based.
Yay.
And then for drinks, because we had the unique opportunity to dine at the Kona Cafe, we found on the menu some stuff that is absolutely worth mentioning here in our drink segment. So we're going to be doing drink segments at the Kona Cafe as well.
Yes, all things Kona Cafe today.
Buckle up. Here we go.
Yay.
Let's talk running.
Let's talk running. The Reimagined Classic from 2019 celebrates the Lion King and one of my favorite all-time characters, if you've listened for any length of time to this show. It's Rafiki.
She is absolutely nuts for Rafiki. She
I
loves
love
the character.
him.
We went to Disney once, went out to where the Rafiki character meet was, and I've got pictures of her hugging him.
I love him. My favorite picture is of you and Rafiki, though, because you're looking at each other at just the right time, and you look so happy, and it's just it's like the picture of happiness.
Well, it's kind of hard to be in a bad mood when you're hanging out at Disney.
Right.
And that is a pretty cool character.
Yeah.
And this version, before we get into the run, we can talk about the movie a little bit.
Sure.
This is, like I said, this is the one that people refer to as the live action version of The Lion King. It certainly looks like it.
And we hadn't seen it until just recently, very recently.
After we ran.
Yeah.
We decided we should probably watch the movie.
Let's pony up.
I think that they did a really interesting thing with this movie.
What do you mean?
I think that they were very smart. They didn't make broad sweeping changes.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They basically created a shot for shot redo of the original with minor tweaks.
More or less.
They recast the voice actors except for Mufasa. Yeah. They had James Earl Jones do that voice.
I love it.
They redid all of the music with new artists, but they didn't make huge changes to this. And I think that it was very respectful of the original. And
True.
I thought that they did a really nice job with it.
Yes. I would say there were subtle differences in some of the scripting and some of the jokes. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think that I would like all the CG, and I didn't think it would have the same kind of feel with those kinds of effects. Mm-hmm. But I think it did. I mean, the cartoon is always my favorite.
Right.
But this was a very well done version.
Yes.
And I didn't expect it to be this good, to be honest.
I was going to say, everything was a very pleasant surprise because I really was giving this movie side eye. Like, this is
You're like, I'm not even going to watch it.
This is a shameless cash grab trying to cash in on, you know, folks of our ages, you know, nostalgia. And honestly, I think that they did a really nice job in modernizing the animation.
Yeah.
Bringing in some new artists to do very respectful reinterpretations of the songs.
Yes.
Without changing them drastically. But again, I just personally think that the original music is going to be something that you can't touch.
I also love the artwork on the metal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know we haven't talked about the course and what we've done
We're getting there.
to earn or achieve the completion of the series, earn the medal, etc.
The accomplishment.
But I really like the medal that we ran for because it has Rafiki on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the moment where he's holding Simba up and presenting him to the animals at Pride Rock.
Yes. Like, this is the heir to the throne. This is the moment. Everybody see him. And I like that it's the bronzish color. The bronze and the black are the overriding colors. And you still have some yellow and red in the Run Disney Virtual 5K text.
But it's just a little splash of color.
Just a little splash, but I think that this is just, it's very well done.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I think this is just gorgeous, and it really rounds out the three for the races. And
yeah,
the fact that, again, for a virtual series, you're getting these medals that I would be happy going to run a race at Disney that they're hosting, not that we're bringing up there, and receiving this at the end. I think that would be fantastic. These are so high quality.
I think each one in the series, now that we've completed all three, I think they capture the spirit of each version very well. You know, from the classic to the Broadway musical to the Reimagined Classic.
Absolutely.
And then the bonus medal, the virtual challenge medal. I like that it's the simple drawing. It's like
the glyph that was on the tree.
On the tree that Rafiki erases when Simba's gone away, and then he reclaims and rediscovers as Simba returns, or as he knows that Simba is going to return. And it's very, because it's carried through all of the versions. That whole moment, very symbolic.
Oh, absolutely.
In the circle of life, as it were.
Yeah, look at you bringing it all back.
So I've talked about the bling.
Yes.
I just put that right up front.
We talked about the movie. We talked about the bling. Like we said, we like to bring these races back to Disney and run them somewhere on property. We decided to revisit a property that we did a Disney virtual race series run at a few years ago.
Marvel, 80 Years of Marvel, the third in the series. It was the same time of year. And this time we stayed there.
We did.
We had dinner reservations when we ran the 80 Years of Marvel. But this time we stayed there.
At the Grandestino Tower at Coronado Springs.
Yes, and that is courtesy of Mike Rallman, host of the Be Our Guest podcast and senior travel agent at the Magic for Less Travel. So shout out to him for hooking us up with a great weekend.
Yeah, Mike did a phenomenal job at really taking care of everything from soup to nuts. Not a sponsor of the show.
No.
Just absolutely
fantastic.
A great time.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have had a better trip. The resort, I think, is a great place for people that maybe want to do runcationing, or if they're wanting to have a Disney vacation and they want to know, where can I stay that's going to have a nice running path?
Right.
This is one of the places I would say is a must consider.
I think it celebrates Florida. It's got beautiful scenery of the pools and the larger pool with the temple. The
ziggurat.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your vocabulary.
The dig site pool
Yes.
is what it's called.
The dig site pool. And then also its scenery celebrates, it takes you out of Florida almost. Wouldn't you say? And you feel very desert Southwestish.
Yes. As you start taking a walk around the path or going for a jog, you go from the Gran Destino Tower, which is very modern and has influences of all the artwork is influenced by Salvador Dali, and everything's very just beautiful and modern and lots of colors. Then you run along the water, and then as you head over towards the cabanas and the ranchos
and the casitas, the different buildings that are not a part of the tower that actually have rooms there.
Yeah, they incorporate, different plants and rock formations to kind of transition from like the aquatic Florida to kind of, like you said, desert Southwest.
Yeah.
And then as you get even further back on that path, they incorporate some wooden footbridges, which are really nice. Kind of like an architectural element that looks cool while you're running on it.
Yeah.
And that kind of carries through to the Three Bridges Bar and Grill, the restaurant that they have out in the middle of the lake.
The many bridges that meet that restaurant, which was just got some killer stuff.
And we'll be talking about that later in a different episode, I believe.
Oh, it's possible. If only one of us had taken pictures before we ate such delicious stuff.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Yes. Sorry, the sum total.
We may find a photo or two.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
We'll dig deep.
But I think the total distance around that path is about 1.3 or 1.6 miles.
Something like that.
So I want to say 1.6 because, as I recall, 2 laps was a 5K.
So we were, I don't know if we took a picture of the sign.
We took a picture of a sign over at the Polynesian.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I can tell you, two laps around there, we hit our 5K.
Yeah.
But there's also the possibility when you're running on a resort that you might get a special moment while you're there. And this is something that we can't promise you is going to happen if you decide to take a run or take a vacation and go for a run, but it could happen. They're doing a lot more of this here lately.
We had a rendezvous with a character, and I was so excited that we ran into Goofy.
Yeah.
It was so sweet.
It was adorable. And he posed with us, although, they're doing the social distancing thing. It was
physically distanced from us. So you can tell that in the photo.
But it was super cute. And, they were very supportive.
Yeah.
They knew what we were doing because we had our run gear on.
And we actually had... we had some of the Metal Chasers medals with us.
Yes, because we were doing another 5K.
Yeah, we were trying to make the most of the scenery and the vistas and the stay there. And those were the ones we had at the time of the sighting.
Well, if Disney would send us our medals, we would pose with them. I'm just saying.
We will.
I know.
All in good time.
They're like I said, they're always very good about it. I just really would like to have it now.
I know.
And in fact, it's funny. I go through it with coworkers. They'll text me, "Hey, did you get your medals yet? Hey, did you get your medals yet?
I know.
Hey, I got my medals. You should go to the post office and check and see if you got your medals." It's this constant thing back and forth.
Yeah. They're going to be great when they arrive, and we will show them off.
Oh, absolutely.
But I enjoyed the character sighting. It was very unexpected. It put a smile on our faces. It was so, and his handlers, as it were so good about taking a photo of us.
Yes.
Too.
They absolutely were. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Again, just a wonderful way to add a little bit of pixie dust.
Yeah.
To your stay.
A magical moment.
And Disney is very good at that.
Yeah.
So that was the run. I mean, we basically, it was a 2-lap loop around the resort. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's well lit at night.
You're not going to believe this, but it's not hilly.
It is not very hilly at all.
Because it's Florida, people. You know what I mean?
There's a little bit of grade in a couple of spots, but nothing crazy.
It's not. It's not hilly.
It's paved. It's lit. It's great. We can't recommend running on the running paths at Disney enough. This one in particular, we've done it twice.
Yeah.
So we must like it.
I love it. I love the running trails at the Disney resorts.
And this one in particular, we were just doing some light interval work, nothing crazy.
No.
This was really just kind of a light training run coming off of the travel and everything else. It was just a great way to end the 5K series.
Yeah.
And kind of end the 5K distance for me as a goal distance. So Disney, you did it again. Great series. I love the medals.
Yes.
This is a virtual series I think our listeners, again, based on our experience so far, should consider if it comes around next year. What do you think?
I think for people, it will depend on the theme, of course.
Sure.
But the themes that we've had in the past 3 years with Marvel, with honoring classic attractions at Disney, with Lion King, these were all ones that meant something to us.
Yes.
So we couldn't pass them up.
No, I agree. And even going back to the ones that the first one that we did with The Incredibles.
And if you can't travel to Disney for some reason or another, then it's a great way to be able to bring Disney home.
Yes.
Run Disney home.
So check that out. We're going to have a link to the Run Disney website.
Sure.
You'll be able to at least take a look at the series. You can't sign up for it anymore. It is closed at this point, but keep your eye as you head into next summer.
Right.
On this website, and we'll have the link to it in the show notes.
Yay.
But all that talk of running did make me very hungry. And fortunately, since we were on the Disney property, we had a place we could go to take care of that problem.
Yes. Kona Cafe at the Polynesian Resort. Oh.
All right. So
talk about taking you elsewhere.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about you talked about classic Disney rides or Disney attractions.
Yes.
The Polynesian is one of the classic Disney resorts.
Indeed.
I mean, some would argue it's kind of old school. Now, it is being refreshed currently.
Oh, yes.
But I think that fascination in the American mindset about, the Polynesian islands and, Hawaii and, that kind of, South Pacific
just
island
vacation
life. Yeah.
To me.
And there was just a period of time where that really captured America's imagination, and Disney encapsulated it and made it one of their luxury deluxe resorts.
Oh, yes. And it's just, the property is beautiful. It's so well themed. And this restaurant is no exception.
Oh, no, it is not. This is on the second floor of the, what do they call it? The
Great Ceremonial House.
Yes. So it's on the second floor of the Great Ceremonial House. And it is kind of overlooking these big glass globes that are in rope netting, and it's just gorgeous.
I loved it. And we sat in a booth so that we could see out into the lobby and see all of the restaurant and see all of the food.
I was going to say, we were also scoping other people's food.
Yes.
Yes.
So whenever they seat us at a half booth, half chair type situation, usually we'll sit together. And this just was facing out so that we could scope out all of the delicious breakfast entrees and beverages.
And we saw a ton. I mean, this place was rocking and rolling. It's a very popular breakfast spot on property for people who are staying at the resort, as well as people like us who just made a reservation and came to the resort for breakfast.
I like that we can do that.
Yes.
On the property. We can make reservations and scope out other resorts and their food and beverage options.
I think it gives you a great way to get a feel for a place and decide if you would want to stay there.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun and I think very useful because now I now know, not just from what I've read and seen online, but from having walked through the property. Yeah,
what it would feel like.
Yeah, I got the good vibe on the place. And we watched all kinds of food coming out. I mean, their breakfast, just their standard breakfast platter, eggs, bacon, sausage coming out.
Looked good.
And was enormous.
Yeah. We decided to do our hot takes, if you will.
Yes.
On our entrees, our breakfast entrees and sides that we got at Kona Cafe.
Okay, Runcation Nation, the food has arrived here at the Kona Cafe. We are enjoying really what's an embarrassment of riches with our food situation.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to start with the plant-based options because this is, you've still got some prep to do on yours.
I do.
I ordered 2 of the plant-based options. They're the main and a side, and I'm going to start with the side, which is steel cut oatmeal. I mean, it sounds, like kind of crazy. You go out, someplace and you get oatmeal for breakfast, but honestly, what a great way to start the day. Oatmeal, has plenty of carbs and protein. It's hearty. It sticks to your ribs. And they're making a plant-based preparation, which is very nice, so that way it's prepared with water. You know that it doesn't have any butter added to it. And if you're looking to stay plant-based, it's a great option to have. They bring it out. You get a nice bowl of it. And it's prepped where it's a little on the drier side, so it's a little less soupy.
Do you like that?
I do.
I don't
like it soupy. No, never have.
No.
And they top it with diced apples, and then they serve it with a side of brown sugar and a little. I don't know if you'd call this like a little. It's a tiny handheld pitcher full of almond milk. So you keep it plant-based and you can thin it out if you want to.
Yeah.
And I added a little bit of both to mine.
You did.
It's delicious. I mean, they do a great job. Steel cut oatmeal for me, I love the texture. I love the bite.
Yeah.
As opposed to like rolled oats that are, just basically mush. This has a little bit of a toothsomeness, and you can actually feel the texture of the individual oats as you're eating. So that's my plant-based side. Now let's talk mains. For the plant-based diner here, you actually have a really cool option, and this is their plant-based Loco Mocha. And the plant-based Loco Mocha uses the Just Egg plant-based eggs that we've been talking about. They're basically made of mung bean, which we have been so surprised at how good they cook up.
Really?
And really, you get the flavor and texture of scrambled eggs. So they're using the plant-based eggs, plant-based sausage, coconut milk, rice, and pico de gallo. So let's give this a taste and see what this is all about.
How is everything tasting?
So good. Thank you.
All right, so we got coconut milk rice. Oh.
Yes?
It's the rice is delicious, perfectly cooked. This looks like they used a medium grain rice.
Oh. And it's fluffy and
their sausage, it's a plant-based sausage gravy is what they did.
oh my god.
As opposed to like grounds or patties. Honestly, basically when you look at the artwork, you can see it looks like scrambled eggs on top of something. And that's the rice, the pile of rice with the sausage underneath.
Oh.
I'm gonna let Amy taste this, and you tell me if you could tell, A, how it tastes, and B, if you could tell that's plant-based.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I would get this again just to get it again.
The sausage spice, the sage in that is amazing. The eggs are fluffy. The rice is cooked perfectly. There's that sausage spice going all through, and just that creamy consistency of that gravy. Or
that is ridiculous.
oh my God, that is so good.
That's an unsung hero of this place. Now you have stuff that's a little more popular,
Yes,
and it's kind of one of those must-get type dishes.
I do.
So
Well,
what do you got?
I got a side. Well, you started with sides.
I
so
did.
I got a side of grits because you can't ever take the southern out of the girl.
Absolutely.
So I got grits with smoked Gouda.
Oh,
And I love that. I love that it's different, that it's not cheddar. They're warm, creamy.
now that looks like a creamier grit than unlike my oatmeal, which is more chunky.
The smokiness from the cheese is, but you can still, there's still the grit there. It's not as pronounced as like a stone mill type grit, but you can still, you get the essence of the grit and the smokiness of the cheese and the creaminess. It's all there. Oh, it's so good. So good. And then, yes, I have spiced ham, which is Spam.
She got the spiced ham side,
did.
and I think that's hilarious that they've chosen to call Spam spiced ham.
Yeah.
But it has grill marks on it.
Yeah.
They seared it on a grill. Now, I don't know that I've ever in my life seen you eat Spam.
Gosh, if I had, it's not been since I was a kid. My dad liked it a lot and had it sometimes. But yeah, it's warm. A little bit of smoky flavor from the grill. It's a softer, you know how country ham or breakfast ham, traditionally, it's thinner. This is a thicker cut in 2 pieces. And
that's easily a 1/4 inch thick, each piece.
And I don't know, it's a softer consistency ham.
It's Spam. I mean, it's
Spam.
it's ground up and pressed, and
It's salty ham goodness.
but I love that you know, it's funny that they gave it a fancy name, but I love that they lean into the fact that the Polynesian islands have adopted, Spam kind of into their culinary heritage and culture.
It's unique, so I had to get it. Normally, I get sausage, but I mean, you own the sausage right there with your plant-based offering. But I as my main, I got the Tonga Toast.
And this is one that anytime you hear somebody talk about eating here, Tonga Toast comes up in the conversation. And from the looks of it, I can see why.
Yeah, it's huge. First of all, it's huge. It's 2 pieces of French toast, banana stuffed French toast, rolled in cinnamon sugar, and served with strawberry compote and your choice of the spiced ham, bacon, or sausage, or regular ham.
Yeah.
So, and the strawberry compote, you can't try this, can you?
No.
I wish you could.
You let me know how it is.
Oh my God. You know how you have a really great strawberry daiquiri? The base for that? Just imagine that, but it's a topping for your French toast.
And warm.
And the syrup, it's maple, it's fabulous, it's sugary, it's in flavor, not in consistency. It's not grainy. So, and when I cut open the French toast, I mean, you can see there's the banana.
Yeah, and these are thick pieces of French toast. These are probably, each one is probably 3/4 to an inch thick.
Yeah, it's
and it looks like one giant slab of French toast with the way that they do it, but it's
like It's like Texas toast size.
Yes, that's a perfect way to put it. And the bread looks a little eggy, like
Yeah.
it's a richer bread. It's not like they use Wonder Bread.
So I'm gonna put a little bit of strawberry compote on there.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's so good. Just
We've been waiting for this for a long time.
yeah. Oh.
Well,
Cinnamon sugar, warm toast, the banana flavor. The banana is warm inside.
I was going to ask you. Now, this looks like you have a nice, crispy exterior and a soft interior. But did the banana get warm? And you just answered that.
Yes. Oh my god.
It's like the banana's almost melted.
Yeah. It's so good. It's, yeah. I mean, a person, you're probably going to have leftovers. It's so huge. But you could easily split this with somebody. And
That's enormous. Yeah.
it's delicious. It's like dessert for breakfast. Yeah.
Does it live up to the hype of everybody who's talked about it online, every Disney foodie blog, every Disney group online, the Tonga Toast comes up? Does this match the hype that you've been told?
It is delicious. So, am I happy? Yes.
She's now having it with syrup.
It's also good that way. I'm just saying. If you're a savory breakfast person, I think it would be too much for you.
Okay.
You know? And like yours would be more a savory breakfast speed. But this is super delicious. It was worth the wait.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that tells me that it lives up to the hype. Wow.
Yeah, so it's great. I also hear the macadamia pancakes are to die for, but we just can't.
I believe that those are on the table next to us. And that's a stack of 3 pancakes.
Oh my God.
And it looks amazing with the
It
topping.
does.
So.
So I think this place is definitely worth it if you come, if this is a destination that you come to for vacation. If you like the Polynesian flavors and feel, you should come to Kona Cafe for a breakfast.
Yeah, and even if you're not staying here, let's make that clear.
Yeah.
You can still book, like we're not staying here.
No.
You can book a reservation
Because I would have to
Drive
save up
over.
forever. Yeah.
and come for your meal. So
Yeah.
don't forget that just because you may not be staying at a particular location, that location's restaurants are available to you.
That's what I like about, this is a pricier resort, but we can still indulge in the flavors here. So, and explore the resort and see if it's something that
You'd want to do.
you'd want to do.
And that's a good way to do that too. So instead of you coming sight unseen, come over, have a meal, take a walk around, check it out.
For sure.
But-
oh my God.
Yeah,
It's so good.
but the food here,
So
guys,
good.
this is absolutely worth checking out. I think that whether you're going to go plant-based or you're going to stick to the traditional menu, you've got amazing options.
Yeah, I really like the care that they took with your dish.
I agree.
And so happy that is, we've seen more and more of that across the Disney property.
This is better than I expected it to be. And I'm not even exaggerating. Even if I weren't eating plant-based today,
Yeah.
now knowing how good this is, I might get it anyway because they don't have a non-plant-based Loco Moco on the menu.
Ooh.
So
They don't?
I don't believe so.
No. I'm looking now.
The only Loco Moco you can get is this one.
Well, I would get it.
Yeah.
Totally. It's a great savory dish.
Well,
Kona Cafe
yeah.
is winning.
Check it out.
I'm dreaming of all of the fabulous breakfast options we had. I want them now. Here.
You just want the other half of your Tonga Toast.
I know.
That was the biggest brick of French toast I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
And I'm not saying that like in a bad way.
It was stuffed with banana, cinnamon. Oh my! I can't. I mean, well, we talked about it.
Oh
so.
yeah, and we didn't.
Spam.
And we were actually considering. We were kicking around the idea. Let's get an order of the pancakes. And then we saw the order of the pancakes.
Those are huge.
Oh my gosh!
We couldn't have done it all.
No.
We would have been passed out
And
indefinitely.
I was so shocked at how good mine was.
It was so good. I think that
I wasn't overselling it. I would absolutely get that again, whether I'm eating plant-based or not.
That was so The rice was flavorful. Well, I know. We're rehashing it.
So much so that since getting home, we've been trying to recreate it.
Yeah,
a little bit here.
Not the Tonga Toast, but the Loco Mocha.
Yeah. So, you got to check this place out. If you can get a reservation, get on the app, start making the reservations, jump in there, check for cancellations, do what you got to do. If you're looking for a breakfast spot on the Disney property,
it's worth it.
Get over there.
It's worth it.
But before we go on, we did want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who has become part of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast, Runcation Nation family through Patreon. Your support has meant the absolute world to us and has allowed us to do things like improve our equipment, actually take some trips and offset costs for monthly hosting, and to do all of the things associated with running a podcast. And that is due in no small part to the support of our patrons.
Yes. I mean, it has allowed us to improve and deliver you a great show into 2021 and beyond. At patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast, we have 3 different levels of monthly support, $2, $5, or $10 levels, each with their own special perks. And we continue to add to that and will reveal new levels and new benefits coming very soon.
We keep teasing this. I can't wait to see it myself.
I know. But as they are, patrons get a special thank you message from us when they initially become patrons. Insiders get a look behind the scenes, access to exclusive video footage. They have access to special interviews, video formats released before they even hit the podcast feed.
And I can promise you, with all this travel we've been doing, the patrons have some great stuff coming.
Yay.
So we're super excited. I mean, there's going to be great stuff for everybody, but there's some extra great stuff for the patrons as well.
Our show will always be free, but if you want more of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast that you know and love, and you want to support the show long term, check us out at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast.
And for those of you that are in the Podbean ecosystem, just go right to the top of the Podbean app and click on the reward button at the top. You can see the same levels and the same patronage levels right there. You don't have to leave
perks.
Yeah, you don't have to leave the app at all. You can just keep everything right inside of Podbean. And again, guys, we cannot thank you enough for your continued support of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Well, good morning, Runcation Nation. We are coming to you live from the Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, and we are inside of Kona Cafe.
Let me just tell you, I feel like I hit the jackpot when I got the reservations at the restaurants that we've always wanted to try for this trip, which is our last Run Disney virtual 5K for the summer celebrating Lion King.
You've certainly been working very hard at getting these reservations.
Very hard.
I think she's burned more calories doing that than she's going to burn on the 5K.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm definitely going to ingest all the calories I spent. For sure.
At breakfast.
At breakfast. Alone.
But before we even get to the food, let's go ahead and talk about the drink here, because we're having some stuff that's uniquely
unique
offered here at Kona Cafe.
to the Polynesian Resort at Kona Cafe. And you are having specialty coffee.
I am.
You are.
You've got the description right there.
Well, so we have freshly brewed Joffrey's coffee, Hawaiian Kona. I don't even know how to pronounce.
Marigogipe. Anyway,
It's a press pot.
It's a French press full of actual Kona coffee.
Yes.
And Kona is very unique because it's grown in volcanic soil.
Ooh.
And it's very, it's considered a premium bean. It's probably the most premium American-grown coffee that you can get.
And what I liked when she brought it to the table, this press pot, is she said, how strong do you want it?
Right. So that's just determining how long to let it steep.
Right. So she let it go for an additional minute for us because we wanted it to get it stronger.
Right. And when you look at the coffee, it is, I mean, it's a deep, rich chocolate brown color. It's got, a little bit of a cloudiness to it because it's a French press. French press doesn't have a paper filter, which extracts a lot of the particulates and
Oils.
So it is
because I see some of the oils on the top.
You do, and it's the best way to get the true flavor of a coffee bean.
French press.
French press. And I'm just doing a little sipping right here, This has a mild acidic tartness.
Yes.
It is not very bitter, however, even though I'm having it black right now.
Yeah, I don't get any kind of bitterness. I get just like a darker coffee flavor.
The acidity is absolutely there. This is, I would say, if you've never had Kona, this is a little bit tart, kind of like a Kenyan. If you've ever had a Kenyan AA. Except it doesn't have the almost wine-like notes of a Kenyan AA. So this is a little
wine, like tannins, like a drier.
Well, this has the yes, but also with Kenyan you kind of get like almost the berry notes, the flavor. This is a little more. I don't know. This leans a little more into the tartness and a little. It doesn't taste burnt. It has like a deeper, like you said, a deeper coffee
flavor, richer.
This is phenomenal.
So
now,
yeah,
that's what I'm having.
Yes, and I'm having the wasabi Bloody Mary.
Wasabi Bloody Mary. This thing's it came out in a hurricane glass.
Yes, it came out in a hurricane glass. It's got 2 olives here as the garnish, and
so they're not dolling this up with a bunch of garnishes. I think
it's not like bacon and shrimp. It's not like a meal as a garnish.
Right.
It's gonna and you can see the spice in the Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah, this thing looks.
There's a deep red color, and then you can see the peppery specks, and you can also see the horseradish or wasabi specks.
You absolutely
like
can.
So.
And this thing is just. I mean, it's a hearty looking Bloody Mary for sure.
Yeah. So.
And the sip.
The body of the tomato, the tomato juice is thicker. It's not chunky, it's smooth, but it's like a thicker tomato juice.
Okay, so this is probably your guess would be probably a fresh made or house made bloody mix.
If not, I need to know where they get it.
Okay.
Because it's great, the flavor. And it's not, it tastes very fresh. And then its wasabi is tickling the back of my throat, coming up a little through my nose. And it's, wasabi has more of a bite on the back end than the horseradish. And I just, but it still lets the tomato flavor come through.
And a lot of people confuse or conflate the two. They're related, but they're not the same. Wasabi and horseradish.
Yeah. Can you smell it?
It smells great. I mean, that I'm a bloody fan. I mean, this
that is quite delightful. It's very unctuous. It's full of flavor, very savory, but it doesn't. The wasabi spice doesn't discount the tomato.
It doesn't overpower it.
Right.
So it's not blowing your doors off. I didn't see you make a face like I did with that horseradish sauce we had in Alaska.
Oh, yeah. So
that tells that tells me it's either underpowered or balanced.
I think
and you're not complaining about it being underpowered.
And I'm getting when I sip it, I'm getting some of that fresh ground pepper. So
nice.
It's awesome. And the heat builds.
Oh, so it has heat, like heat.
Like the wasabi heat.
Oh, the wasabi heat, okay.
The wasabi heat. It builds in the back of your throat if you have successive sips.
Okay.
But it's not a blow your doors off. I know it's not going to destroy my palate for the meal.
So is this a drink you would get again?
Yes.
Nice.
I would. It's delightful. I think it would go great with one of their savory entrees, like the humongous egg platter that we have seen here.
The food we've seen walking out to these tables is enormous portions here and fresh, and I can't wait to get ours.
Right.
So,
and it's good that we will be able to experience the plant-based and the non-plant-based and be able to bring all that Kona has to offer, including delicious coffee here in the beverages and outstanding Bloody Mary here at Kona Cafe.
I enjoyed that beverage so much.
That looked amazing.
Well, both beverages, because you didn't take all the coffee for yourself.
No, I did share.
That was very nice of you.
I shared a little.
That was very nice.
No, I love a Bloody Mary when I can look at it and see the spice and see the horseradish, or in this case, the wasabi. Mm-hmm. And, that looked so good. And the smell was good.
It'll open your sinuses right up there. So it was good. It was good, though, in a good way. I mean that in a good way. I do. So I would get it again. It was quite delightful, and your coffee was amazing. I am only sad that you could not try the Bloody Mary.
I am too. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
If I'm not on this challenge. But so folks, if you are going to be heading to Disney, tell us where you're eating. Tell us what you're drinking.
Exactly, and where to get it.
Yeah, because we also want to know, for all the times that we have mentioned Disney on this podcast, we have by no means exhausted all the options there. There are a lot of places we haven't been yet.
Yeah, so we want to know where to go.
Let us know. info@runeatdrink.net, info@runeatdrink.net, or give us a call, 941-677-2733. Leave us a voicemail. Tell us about your favorite spot for food and beverage on the Disney property. We would love to hear about it, and we'd love to share it with the rest of the Runcation Nation.
I think we have some patron meetups coming where that information will be handy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, that is another episode of the Run Eat Drink podcast in the can. 180 is in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
We are getting ready for episode 181 and beyond. We are going to be getting ready this week, of course, for travel to the Smoky Mountains.
Yes, and we have yet to recap Alaska.
Yeah, so we have a lot still yet to come.
And we have a very special virtual race coming up on the schedule that is in honor of one of our own from the Runcation Nation, Rob Nadow.
So we're going to have a link in the show notes for Rob's Memorial Virtual. Mm-hmm. And we hope that if you haven't signed up for it, that you will consider signing up. That is, of course, benefiting some of Rob's favorite charities, including St. Christopher's Truckers Relief Fund and Coke Trucking.
Yes.
So check that out. We'll have links in the show notes.
Thank you all so much for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, cleaning the house, around the house, wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe, stay well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.